at Huck's old home.
Guy comes barreling down the stairs, almost kills himself.
Here we are. Oh, god dang. Don't do me like that. Okay.
Said she was seeing a man, and he was very mean to her.
What was that? You heard that? Was there a table in the house when y'all moved in, left by a previous tenant?
No.
Okay. Now, whose room was this? Motherfucker. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
What was that noise?
Hot Rod Harry just burned off, scared the crap out of us. So
yeah, ironic at best.
How ironic is that? If you have a message, if you have something you'd like to say, we're listening.
No fucking way that thing just sitting there.
It was the second oldest continuously operating jail in Texas. It was built in 1885 and closed in 2005. This is the original entryway booking area of the jail. The board right there was original when we got here. Of course, a lot of our guests write and saying things on there, and occasionally we get the magic eraser out, clean it up a little bit. There are lots of photographs here on the wall of the jail in its original state, which that's our journey, is to restore the original facade of the jail, which is about to happen. Twice it was flooded with 8 feet of water up to the garage roofs, and you can see photographs of that. We're about to tear off the front of the building that they added in 1976. This dimly lit room, when I got here, was all paneled, and you couldn't see any of these windows. There's actually a photograph on the wall of what it looked like when we got here. There was a partition here with that big window that it would bring prisoners through a door right there into behind that window, and their families in here to visit with them. Behind that curtain is a restroom that Sheriff Dodds put in for his wife in the 1960s, and we're about to rip that out and make it a nice closet because we're losing a lot of space.
Store all our stuff.
This was the original jail sheriff's parlor. So
This room has been quite a few things. It's been
because it's all sandstone and very crumbly, all those rocks you see there actually came out of the walls.
Oh, wow.
And
Hence the
Yes.
you do not
it's
touch.
for we had to stop pulling that window frame up because it's so unstable.
Dang.
Wow.
So once we get it all replastered and get the window frames done, then we'll work with.
You're all back original? The way
This is the front of the building looking out the street. So this is all original to the building.
Wow.
It's covered up now by the hallway in the front and the restroom. So when all that goes away, you'll be looking out onto the street.
This room was also a chapel at one time.
This is the ministry we found.
And
We
there's
took
a
10 drop ceilings in it.
So it's been a lot of
We found all of
things.
these pages torn out of like church missals and stuff up in the ceiling.
Wow.
And then my plumber, I said, oh yeah, this used to be the ministry room. This was the sheriff's bedroom. The portrait on the wall is actually the last sheriff who lived here with his family, Sheriff Dodds and his wife. He was the one who was killed. His wife went on to become the only woman sheriff ever in Lavaca County for like 6 months until they could elect a new sheriff. We have a photograph in here of the second sheriff here, Sheriff John Hutchins. And
He's our
we
guardian
get a
angel.
lot from him here. We've gotten his face in a lot of different places. His brother, youngest brother, actually went on to become the longest running sheriff ever in Lavaca County, Sheriff Gene Hutchins. Sheriff Hutchins had 6 kids, and he had 2 kids who died while he was sheriff here. His son, he had an 8-year-old son, Horace, who ironically enough was killed by a runaway horse.
Oh, wow.
He had his funeral here. His daughter, Maud, was born 3 years later. She was born here, died here, and had her funeral here. She was 9 months old.
That's why some people ask, why do we get like kids and little babies' voices and stuff back here? Well, that's where the house used to be.
There were a lot of kids here. So that original old house started right here, and now it's a tin building. But it was a couple of bedrooms, their living room, a big pot-bellied stove, the kitchen, and then it became officer's lounge, a game warden's office, a DPS office, deputies' offices. This was the rec yard out this door. That when they added the downstairs cells in 1976, they put in the rec yard so they could go outside. It's also a fire exit in case the building catches on fire with all this concrete and steel. You never know what will happen. There are fire extinguishers everywhere. If you don't know how to operate one, I will show you. That's my fire tour.
That awesome smell you're smelling right now is coffee. I started the pot.
Yes.
Really? Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we have coffee and all kinds of stuff.
No, he's the king of coffee.
Help yourself. I love coffee.
This frame here was actually the window in that room we were in up front, the parlor. That was the viewing window, and when we tore that room apart, I told Lisa, yeah, let's save this.
We have shirt. What size shirt?
Oh yeah, Shaggy with the
Probably
shirt.
gonna get an extra large.
Extra large? Okay. Deborah and I, we're wearing a medium.
They run a little
But they
big.
do.
Well, I'm a little big.
I can bring in a few.
I'll bring in some.
You're a little big too.
We're gonna take a break.
What? Big bones.
We have some cool stuff in there, some actual real handcuffs and things that we've found around the property, and that's the book I was talking about, the old ledger. If you'd like to look through that, I will get it out.
There's a lot of women in there, which is pretty funny. It's like
Mary
the whores.
Kirkendall was a
The town
whore.
whore.
Get this on film. Yeah, Mary Kirkendall was
She
in
was.
jail here every month for at least 3 or 4 days. Bless her heart. She must have been hard working. But yeah, this is Lavaca County Prison record number 2. We're assuming number 1 got washed away in the flood. This one was actively being used, so they took it with them. It actually lists
Oh, that's
the
awesome.
days they were here, what their fines were. A few of them actually list what they were here for.
On a few, in a parentheses, it'll say like escapee or
Yeah.
crazy.
He escaped,
or
lunacy.
insane, Yeah.
Drunkenness. We have jugs of water underneath the sink right there, tons of them, and we use it like a regular sink. Dragging water from the well, and
Yeah.
we get a lot of disembodied voices in this hallway. This is also a way out. And usually if we come in to go to the restroom, we'll come in through here, so you'll hear this swooshing of this door, and we go right there and we go right back out. These rooms have just been, this was a 911 control room and a sheriff's office, and we just gutted them, and it looks like the basement of Yorktown. So it's locked up in there because there are big 4x8s with 9-inch nails sticking out of them everywhere that we pulled off the wall. There are 2 working nice restrooms. I had 2 front holding cells, or more like short-term or Otis Campbell drunk cells.
Otis Campbell.
These wheels, this was typically the men's side, the other side was the women's side. These wheels open and close the cell doors in there. And this still work. So you can still get locked in here. Yeah, dice and dominoes and cards and stuff. Well, I think somebody stole our dice.
A Ouija board.
You call it our experience.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I mean, the one thing that just made you go, crap, do I really want to be here anymore?
Big black mask down the hall.
Big black mask down the hallway.
The long hall we came in?
Yeah. I was back there mopping one day and had a series of events happening. Walking down the hallway, all the doors were slammed as I went by, and I had a 5-gallon thing of Kills holding open the kitchen door back there because it doesn't stay open on its own. And I was back mopping at what's our break room now, an office at the very end of the hall. And I turned around for something and it was like from the visitor's room, just like a shadow kind of leading out and going back in. And I'm like, And then when I looked back again, I couldn't even see that doorway that I just showed you. This is another way out, where we come in and out. Couldn't even see that. It was just like the whole hallway was black. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck you. Then I'm gonna think I'll kill you pretty good. I was right across from that doorway going outside. I thought, yeah, I can make a beeline through that. Well, then, when I looked back again, it was gone. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. But then, like a rush of wind down the hallway, and my hair was standing up, and I was like, nah, oh yeah, I'm out.
So that moved into that area.
After that, I was back there mopping again, being alpha dog, and a bang that shook the building, and it was that paint can that had holding the door open. It was all the way across the kitchen, up against the front counters, and I'm like, thank God the lid didn't come off. It was really sucked.
A mess, yeah.
It really sucked. This side is just like that side, except reverse. Yeah, originally, this was the jail.
So that area is just a holding cell, like a day room, like 24-hour drunk tank type thing?
The two front ones, yeah.
Okay.
The rest of it was segregated men and women, but they had men on both sides. Sometimes they don't couldn't stay there either. Not only did they not let you go outside, you couldn't see outside, so they painted all the windows black. The clear ones are mostly ones we've replaced. We had a lot of broken windows when we first got here.
That's some hardcore.
Hardcore flat bar.
Yes.
These cells were actually manufactured in 1874 and then assembled here in 1885. Still has the original mechanisms that lock all the doors, functional.
Wow. This is awesome.
Gotta lock it. It has 4 individual cells in here, so when they would put you in here, that mechanism is what locks this. So we shove it forward, the bars go across, and then they would put big metal pins in here too, or padlocks to...
I got you. So they
Further
could leave this
intimidation.
locked, let you guys out to
Yeah, they'd leave them out all
segregate.
day. They had their day room and shower, and there are 4 individual cells.
Ball and chain.
Yeah, there's a ball and chain hooked to a cow bone or something in there. I don't know what it is. This was the women's side when they needed it, and they had their wooden privacy doors, so the guys could not see them. And it consists of 3 sleeping cells or sleeping bunks and their little day room. Before they let them go outside, they let them walk around these cells. There's all kinds of cool artwork and carvings in the walls. There's pictures of guns, naked women, counting off the days, just all kinds of cool stuff. The lighting has to be just right to be able to see it.
So is this just for accessing the plumbing?
Access to plumbing, yeah. You can walk all the way around there. JP did a whole 5-day paranormal isolation show here. It was really cool. He was laying on a cot right here, and after like 2 hours of him being asleep, and he didn't even know this when it happened, you called me and said, I'm fixing to send you something. You're going to freak the fuck out. And while he's laying here, you see this door just swing.
Remember, these cell doors weigh over 100 pounds easily. No draft could even make that door budge an inch. Whatever opened that door has a ton of energy. And even scarier is that it was right next to my head.
Wide open, right by his head. Well, he didn't wake up or nothing then. He said, even when I got up in the morning, I didn't even think anything about it being closed when I went to bed or being open, but Yeah, this door weighs 400 pounds, and it swung better than this. And I watched it 100 times to see is there a mist or a shadow or anything behind that. We really couldn't see anything. Boy, did it swing right open though. I'm like, yeah, there was no fishing line on that. Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Wow.
He's like,
I've
yeah,
seen that bridge.
if I'd have woke up and saw that, I'd left skid marks getting out of here. Right, that's pretty impressive energy right there.
Yeah. You see the footage Jeffrey has for the door
I
scene?
did.
Yes, that's a heavy
Sure
door.
did.
And that thing opened like butter.
I
It's
know.
crazy.
Dude,
I told him I kept watching
She
to
said-
see is there a shadow or something, and I couldn't see nothing.
Anything.
She said, yeah, that wasn't fishing line.
You wouldn't
Oh,
have
no,
man.
he
no.
was by himself. It was
So
when he
much
spent the week here,
Yeah,
right?
spent 5
Wasn't he
days.
sleeping right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was sleeping on a cot, bro.
His
Right
head was
there.
like right behind that door.
And that's, yeah.
And he didn't realize it for like 3 days. He was going through the footage and he found it. He called, he's like, man, I'm gonna see something gonna die.
He woke up and didn't even make, and I kept thinking, dude, he's gonna see that door, he's gonna freak out.
He said, I couldn't even remember if it was shut or open when I was
That
laid
footage on
down.
YouTube?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yes.
I think it's part 4 or 5.
So if y'all had to pick the most active spot in the
You know, it
can
moves
you narrow it
around.
down?
It's hard to say because it moves around. And we can have people up here that said, man, upstairs is dead. I get nothing. And then an hour later, it's like, upstairs is crazy. And it's the same with downstairs. I mean, we get so much more activity during the day. And I think just because there's so much residual stuff thrown into it during the day,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, business as usual.
But this is where you want to be, man.
Do you really?
You
You want to be in there, you
Let
said?
me get something to record with first.
I can count on one hand in over 8 years we've had something happen and I said, what the fuck was that? And couldn't figure it out. And Huck and Tina, they've had a lot more interaction.
Yeah, we'll be outside or next door, and if you need anything, yell at us.
Oh, Lord.
Did you bring that?
Yes, sir.